Bam. Okay. Hi, boys and girls. You know how I always say I'm a pot washer because that's how I learned how to sing and do a dirty job at the same time. Well, I told my driver this story, and then he smacks me up with a lot better story about his dad. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah. Back in the 60s and 70s, my dad told me, he said, son, if you're a toilet washer, if you're scrubbing toilets, you have to be the #1 toilet scrubber. And that's how my dad started being a toilet cleaner for the Fontainebleau Hotel. He went from the Fontainebleau, from the toilets into being and probably one of the worst bellhops they ever had, but because of his attitude and always smiling and positive, within about a 6-year process, he went from toilet washer to the GM of a multi-million-dollar hotel on Miami Beach. It's now called the Fontainebleau Hilton. But he always...
Okay, now slow down again. So you said he was the lowest bellhop, and then
he worked his way up to the top bellhop. And once he became the supervisor of bellhops, and still not the best bellhop, he used to drop luggage, stuff like that. But because of his attitude, and he tried and put all his heart into it, they made him supervisor of bellhops. He went from supervisor of bellhops to the front desk when you go in and check in.
Yeah.
After he did that, and he was really good at that by upgrading hotel rooms and stuff like that, and then he became a salesperson. So with that, his attitude and his smile and always happy and enjoying, no matter what he does, he had a great time doing it. So he became the desk manager. He was in charge of all the desk workers. From there, he became the hotel manager. After about a year, he then became the general manager of the whole hotel.
The Fontainebleau Hotel. Phew.
$700 a night to stay. All the movie stars. I know when I was a kid, I got to meet Elvis, Neil Diamond, Frank Sinatra, Bing Crosby. I met a lot of stars. So,
and we used to live right next to the Don Cesar Hotel in St. Pete, so we're used to the celebrities rolling in there.
You know exactly
that was our neighborhood.
And you know, I've lived my life that way only because of what my dad always told me. You be the best toilet cleaner you can possibly be. Be the #1 toilet cleaner, because that's what happens. You get chances and you get opportunities given to you, and it's always what you put into is what you get out of it, basically.
Okay, now why don't you hit your story too? You were going to say.
I was a very bad kid. 6 years old, starting fights. I had issues. Ended up in juvie hall, being arrested for stupid stuff. A very big drug dealer in Miami, doing drugs, on drugs, smoking crack, doing cocaine. Only because it was free for me, because I was the dealer. Made a lot of bad choices. I got lucky and didn't go to prison. I got out of it. I dropped the pipe. And if you guys are into drugs, you know what the pipe means. I dropped it and never touched it again. And that's when I started making my choices and really listening to people around me that have lived through it. And then I spoke for probably 5 years at NA places for teens to try to help them get off of. Nothing should really control you but your mind yourself, your own mind. Drugs should never control you. Then I joined the military, went in the Navy. After the Navy, I ran dealerships for 28 years. And I'm actually retired at 53. So bad choices now doesn't mean that you can't wake up and smell the coffee and do the right thing. And I'll tell you what started with me was my kids. Having my kids changed my whole world. I mean, everything. Had to become an adult, had to become mature. I made a mistake, had a kid out of wedlock. It's extremely expensive. I did not have parents that backed me. My dad told me I was on my own. He could have paid for everything. My dad had a lot of money. But for me to be a man, I needed to do it on my own too. And I fought and worked 2 jobs, did the right thing, and now my son is a sergeant in the Air Force, and I was a single parent, and my daughter is a medical assistant. So if you get in a little bit of trouble now, think about what can happen in the future if you don't. Maybe listen, and doesn't mean you got to do exactly what they're telling you. You got your own mind, and you're old enough to make your own decisions, I would imagine. Don't know how old you all are, but start thinking about it now. Education, listening, talk to God. That's the only thing I can tell you.
And doing dirty jobs.
And doing dirty jobs.
With a happy attitude.
And be the best you can be at it. If you're scrubbing hubcaps, be the best hubcap scrubber you ever been. Because trust me, in the end, what you see, what you accomplish, it's going to make you feel like 10 feet and bulletproof. Because you did it on your own. And you made the right choices. Not your peers. You make the right choices.
That's good stuff. Okay, yippee, hello, happy Saturday. Welcome to Central Florida. Polk County rules.
Yes, it does.